Hello Flosstube, this is AM Dreaming Stitcher, and this video is part of a series that I am creating to parade all of the kits and charts and such that I have accumulated over my more than 25 years of stitching. I know that I have far too much that I will never get it all stitched. It's fun to dream about stitching it, but it's not going to happen. The only thing that I can do with it while it's around and I'm still around is to maybe share it with others who like to see some of what's out there. So that's why I'm putting these parades together. And I will try to keep each installment of my parade to about half an hour just so they don't get unreasonably long. If you like, you could always binge watch some later if 30 minutes is too short for you. Or if that's more than long enough, you could try watching them sped up. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. Anyway, I'll try to give you enough information about each item that you could look it up for yourself elsewhere if it interests you, because I know I don't have the best camera and the color is not as true to life as I wish it could be and so forth. But I hope I tell you enough that you could find it somewhere if it catches your interest. So today is going to be charts. I'm picking up where I left off in a previous chart segment, and I'm just going to keep working my way through them until I run out or until my 30 minutes is up. And in this case, I'm nowhere near running out, so expect more chart videos. Okay, the first one up today is called Sailing Ships Sampler. It is from Rosewood Manor. It is designed by Karen Kluba. My pronunciations will be terrible, so please forgive me. My idea would be to change out these letters that she's got in there, which I'm sure is perfectly anticipated by the designer, and maybe put in the names of family members or something else. They do have an individual's name at the bottom as well, but I'd have to think about what I'd put there. My father loved ships. They have a nice list on the back of all of their designs. It is copyright 2009. I usually like to give you an idea of the stitch count if I can find it. This one is 192 by 229, so that means this is 192 stitches wide and 229 stitches tall, and it's not full coverage, so obviously you don't have to do the full area of that as crosses. But if you were to multiply the two numbers together, it gives you an idea of the area of the piece, so you can tell when you start on a chart whether it's something quite large or something small, and how much of an undertaking you've gotten for yourself when you dive into those. So this next one, for example, in comparison to the Rosewood Manor, is quite small. This is from Ink Circles. It's called Altogether Now because that is an alto clef. We have a lot of musicians in the family, so you'll see that I've ended up with all of their clefs. They have one called First Bass, and Here Comes Treble. I will try to give you the size on that while we pull up another one. That one had a design size of 58 by 62, so significantly smaller than the Rosewood Manor chart. This one is First Bass with a bass clef, and Here Comes Treble. Again, these are from Ink Circles. They are very similar in size to the one we just saw, so this one says it's 60 by 61. And First Bass is 60 by 59. So if you were to do them as a set, you could have all kinds of options for how to frame them up and make them look nice together if you wished. They do give some suggestions for coloring. They used fancy threads, but they give a DMC conversion, and I'm kind of a DMC girl, so that's probably what I would use, even though I know they're more stunning when they are done with the fancy flosses. This is again from Ink Circles. It is called Gilder, and they did two different designs. I only have Gilder. I don't have the companion piece, which is called Florin. It has a design size of 49 by 49. And again, they did theirs with fancy floss, but they also do the closest DMC that they could come up with. Another Ink Circles called Heliocopter, reminiscent of Celtic designs, which I am very fond of. So Heliocopter, I would have to open it up to get you a design size, but it looks like it's similar to the others that we've seen. This one is called Horseplay, again from Ink Circles. And Horseplay has a stitch count of 99 by 99. Copyright 2018. Okay, now we have another Ink Circles design that's a little larger and more colorful. I wish my camera showed you how pretty the colors are in their stitched model, but it's called Dogwood Square. I'm sorry, I'm sort of getting ready for the next item I'm going to show you. They were kind enough to send me a freebie. So the stitch count on Dogwood Square was 121 by 121. And the freebie they sent me is called Spin Cycle, which has a design size of 49 by 49. And I think that's it for my ink circles. Next, we have, oh, I fibbed. It was hiding from me. I've had this one open and looked at it before. When I first started Flosstube, a lot of people were doing this one. And I like sea creatures and the sea. So this was just appealing for all kinds of reasons. It is from Ink Circles. It's called Get Kraken. I expect many, many of you have seen this before and know that it sort of has a made-up alphabet and a little story about some historical battle between the Kraken and the vessel. It is copyright 2015, and the design size is 185 by 173. Okay. And from there, we're on to my long dogs. Yes, I have a number of long dogs. I'm sure, if you have watched Flosstube or done cross-stitching or gone to LNSs or anything for any amount of time, you have heard of long dog samplers. They have their own website. They also sell many of their designs through places like 123 Stitch and other stitching outlets. I have not been able to find all the ones I like there, but I also haven't taken the time to order directly from Long Dog because I know I have more than I could stitch in my lifetime anyway. So the one that I don't have that I would really like is Saint Sylvestre. But here we have Saint Germain. And Saint Germain is just, as you can see, a very geometric kind of a pattern. It's 201 by 201 stitches. Long dogs vary quite a bit in size, so you kind of have to pay attention to the stitch count to know what you're letting yourself in for. You can choose any color or fabric that you want. I've done a similar design that was 175 by 175, so a little smaller than this, called Rose Marquee, which was also basically just a very geometric kind of a pattern. Here's another one of those strictly geometric designs. This one's called St. George's. It is 155 by 155, so that makes it smaller than the one I've done, and certainly smaller than Saint Germain. Again, choose your color, choose your pattern, do what you want. Not your pattern, your fabric, pardon me. Now, there are so many people out there, stitchers, who have a wonderful skill for choosing colors. I am not one of them. They can stitch any long dog or other monochromatic pattern and turn it into a polychrome pattern with amazing results. I don't know how to choose colors. So you will see that a number of my long dogs are the ones that already have colors picked out because I don't trust myself to do a good job. But it's still the same type of design. I mean, when you see a long dog, there are others that look kind of like them, but you still know when you're looking at a long dog. This one is called Dankworth. It is 125 by 254 stitches. Again, they're not full coverage, but I would definitely recommend kind of figuring out the stitch area before you start or before you get it to decide if that's something that you want to dive into, because they can get a little big. That one's not too big at all by their standards. This one is, oh, forgive my pronunciation, carrelage. It is 218 by 215 stitches. They do tell you, in this case, that you have a total of 22,033 stitches. wasn't that considerate of them to let us know how many stitches you'd be doing. That would tell me, I know that I can do about 100 stitches an hour, although possibly more when it's all monochrome like this. But I could figure out then that that would take me at least 220 hours maybe to do that piece, just because I'm not a super fast stitcher. But it was nice of them to include that information. Next I have Watchers of the Dawn. This one is 235 by 274 stitches, and I feel a little bit like all those folks that collect things like Heaven and Earth designs that are huge and take years to make when I look at how many of these long dogs I have and realize I've only stitched one. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy. Watchers of the Dawn, again, 235 by 274, and I'm so glad they provided us with some colors. Of course, they may not be in DMC floss, but I think most often they are. This is Long Dog Sampler's Opus Magnuson. Now we're getting bigger. 356 by 395 stitches. So that one I had that was 175, you could fit 4 of those inside this pattern and have room left over. Opus Magnuson, and I have seen at least one Flosstuber. I'm sure there are probably many stitching this, and I think it's gorgeous. I would say that about most of my patterns, but this one is called Kel's Critters, and I have another that from Long Dog with the theme based on the Book of Kel's that I showed in one of my kit videos because I was trying to fill up time at the end of the video, and I had several things that I had kitted up, so I had the fabric and the floss for the other one, and it occurred to me later I probably should do things like that in the chart videos, not the kit videos, so I may save all my other self-kitted things for a particular video. Anyway, this is Kel's Critters, design size 297 by 403. And since some folks do like to kit things up themselves, that's why I think I should probably put that kind of thing into a chart video, not a kit video. All right, now we have a couple that kind of go together. Beauty Spot and Sunspot. And I have seen these worked on too, and the colors are amazing. Beauty Spot is 315 by 312. Sunspot is 315 by 312. So you're getting a perfectly matched for size pair of designs. I think that they did not necessarily use just DMC on these, but I'm sure they either give the conversions. Yes, it looks like they had gentle art. That's okay. I would do it with DMC myself, I think, because I have already spent so much of what could have been my retirement savings on all these stitching things that you're seeing that I can't invest anymore in things like fancy floss and fabrics, and that's my own fault. I hope that you all are more fortunate when it comes to that. All right, that was it for the long dogs, I believe. So now the next design company that I have up here is called X's and O's. I have one of theirs that I really like that I have kitted up. So again, I will save the things I have self-kitted for a separate video. But just to let you know, it's called the Frog Prince, and I think it's marvelous. This one is called Dragon Moon. It is based on artwork by Den Beauvais, I think. And it has a stitch count that they're hiding from me. Here. Let me give you something to look at while I try to find that stitch count. The Dragon Moon is 160 by 195. And it does have things like blending filament. It looks like some blended colors also. Blended colors and blending filament and so forth for Dragon Moon, who I think is wonderful, marvelous. Now, I was just giving you a little preview of things I don't have, but there's Dragon Moon. What I do have is Anchors Away. Needlework designs by Joe Gatenby, X's and O's. Anchors Away has this sweet little shorebird next to an anchor and a crab, a starfish. Just all kinds of things in that little beachy kind of a picture. And it has a design size of 182 by 140. Okay, some of my charts, when I originally started stitching, I put into notebooks with magazine holders, and those I will have to show in a different video, but I had a lot of these one-nighters that I got back when they were new and being published. These others I got kind of on the secondhand market, sometimes from places like Friends of the Library if I was lucky, but there are a lot of them out there. They did many different sets of designs. This one's called 57 Exotic Birds. They're from Jeanette Cruz Designs. They say this one was the 52nd in the series, so really they did, and there are more than that. They did a lot of different ones, and it looks like there's charts on the back. But the actual animals aren't that large individually. I've done some of them, not of those birds, but of others as like Christmas ornaments. They're really not too large. This one is called 63 Butterflies. Again, Jeanette Cruz Designs. And here we have 46 aircraft. Some of the others that I would have to show you, I can't even think of them all. Chickens and fish and musical instruments and just all kinds of stuff. I'm sure I have at least half a dozen more, but those would be for another day because they weren't on this shelf with these, so I can't show them to you. All right, now we have coming up the bulk of my crossed wing collection charts. I think I have some of them hiding in other places too, so they might show up in a later installment of a chart parade. But many of them are still being published, I believe, and so they're very easy to find on the secondhand market, I believe. So if you like any of these crossed wing collections, don't be afraid to go out and find them. This one is number 17 in their series. It is called Loon Lake. It's designed by Paula Minkebige, Minkebige. And they often have, not always, but often have more than one design that you can stitch, and they usually show them all on the cover there so that you can see. The charts tend to be hand-drawn, and they list all the colors and things on the inside. This is another from the Crossed Wing collection. It is called Extinct is Forever. It's number 16 in their series. And you get these 4 different bird designs with this one. Same designer. Since there are so many different ones in each, I'm not going to try to give stitch counts because obviously it'll vary depending on the design. This one is number 29 in the series. It's called A Frosty Feast. No reason you couldn't just stitch segments of it as they've done on these separate ornaments. I love the little dog. I think that's why I got this one. Obviously very holiday themed, but not as much, more of a winter thing, not as much of a holiday as this one, which I ended up with 2 of. I think I showed them in a haul video at one point, or some kind of video that I filmed. This again is Crossed Wing Collection number 26. It's called A Crossed Wing Christmas, and I couldn't resist the sweet little animals hanging around the Christmas tree, but it also has a miniature of a tree with a bird and looks like a fox or squirrel or something, I'm not sure. But no, it's 2 birds, 2 cardinals. And again, a couple cardinals hanging around a mailbox. This one is Crossed Wing Collection number 5, Bluebirds of Happiness. I guess if I was organized, I'd have mine all in numerical order, but and you get these different designs of bluebirds. This whole parade would be so much better if I had a better camera and light and everything. My apologies, but as I said, it's the only way I can share them with you, so I'd rather share them this way than not at all. This one is number 6, Backyard Favorites. Sometimes I recognize the birds like the blue jays, and sometimes I don't know what they are, but they do tell you on the chart when you're stitching. Here is number 12, Little Leaguers. Number of different designs. I'm sorry, I could hear some knocking in the background, and I was just trying to think to myself whether that was my door, but I don't believe so. This is Feathered Gems. It's number 4 in their series. A lot going on with those. Sometimes they do show, I think, the same one stitched more than once. I'm not sure of that, but. And here we have Alpha Birds, which is number 25 in the series. And it's exactly what it says, an alphabet with birds. Now I've run out of the stack that I had sitting next to me when I started, so I'm going to pause you for a moment and go grab some more charts. I am definitely not out of charts, just out of the pile that I had. Okay, this chart is from Ellen Moore Stroh, and I believe she has a website where you can get some of her designs as well. I hope I'm not mistaken about that. It's called Flower Border. It's copyright 1998. I think I may have actually gotten the colors for this one too. I don't know where I put them because I don't have it with my kitted up charts. They give you the colors in DMC. It has a stitch count of 65 by 230. They do overlap the pages on the chart so that you can align them carefully when you're stitching. I wonder where I put the flosses for that. Okay, next, I don't know if I'll get through them in the 8 minutes I have, but I have some charts that you may have seen before in the past. I'm quite sure I showed these at some point, but because I want my parade to be very systematic and not leave anything out, I'm going to go ahead and do them. But what I have coming up are my Orenco Originals charts and my Artisy charts. Probably won't get through both in this video, but Orenco Originals has their own website, and they are also available through places like Amazon quite frequently. They offer you some personalization if you're interested. They say they can excuse me, simplify the patterns by decreasing the number of colors. They'll be happy to rechart it for a different thread count. Most of them are charted for 14 count, but they can do it for you for something different if you like. So feel free to contact them because I have not tried those services, but they do tell you they're available. So if you want to do differently than what it says on the front of this chart, talk to them, see what they'll do for you. Okay, this one is Japanese Snow in Maruyama Park. It's copyright 2007. I have yet to see them on their website or anywhere else show their designs stitched up. What you see is the mock-up, not a mock-up, but the original artwork. So what I'm going to do here, if you'll give me a moment to pause, is I'm going to bring the one that I have stitched and show you, if I can, the chart and the final product, just to give you an idea of Orenco's, how close their charts are to the originals. So just a moment. Okay, I knew I would have no problem finding my finished stitching for you. I wasn't sure how quickly I could lay my hands on the chart, but I located it. So this is the original artwork on which the design was based, and next to it you see what it actually stitched up as. So they're not heaven and earth designs by any means. That particular one was done with 30 colors, and it's only 8 by 10 in size, 112 by 168 stitches on a 14 count fabric. So that just gives you some idea, if you do get any Orencos, just how much like the original is the result going to be. Okay, so back to my Orenco charts then. This was Japanese Snow in Maruyama Park. It is, as I said, 140 by 224. We have also Asian house in rice paddy inspired by a Japanese woodblock. It has a finished size of 140 by 224. Copyright 2007. We have Asian summer house gazebo. You're probably getting the idea here that I like Asian designs. It's 140 by 196. Copyright 2007. By the way, they do give you an idea of the number of colors that they use. That Asian one uses 40 colors. The Asian summer house is 40 colors. The Asian house in the rice paddy is 39 colors. So these are not huge numbers of colors the way that some other computer charting, I assume these are computer charted, companies can be. This first one was 38 colors. So they're all kind of in the same neighborhood as far as the number of colors that they choose to do. When I ordered the rabbit, I was expecting it to be 45 colors, but it was actually the simplified version with only 30 colors. Okay, here we have Archangel Raphael from Stained Glass by James Powell and Sons. It is 140 by 210. It's copyright 2007. It is 40 colors. I've mentioned before my preference for angels that are a little more masculine, and so that's why I got this series. The Archangel Uriel, detail inspired by stained glass of James Powell and Sons, also known as White Friars. This is 140 by 210 stitches, same as the last one. 2007 is the copyright, and it probably also has 40 colors, I expect. Yes, 40 colors. Then there are a couple of angels in this stained glass series that are kind of more blue in tone. We have the Archangel Michael and the Archangel Gabriel. Each one is, one of them is 140 by 196. The other is 140 by 210. So this one varies a little bit. They're both copyright 2007. This one has 45 colors, and the other has 40 colors. Then I have some Orenkos that are coming from the medieval unicorn tapestries. This is a sitting rabbit detail. I've seen a lot of different companies chart this up. For example, Scarlet Quince has these, I think, and I'm sure many others. This is 196 by 196 square. So it just so happens the piece I'm finishing up for myself now is 196 by 196, but it's not full coverage. So it gives me a very good idea how much effort would need to go into these. The resting rabbit, also from the Lady and the Unicorn medieval tapestries, is also 196 by 196. Both are copyright 2007. I'm wondering if that's because they actually came out then, or if it's because I purchased them all in the same year and they were the same batch. I don't know. Anyway, it's 35 colors on the green one and 30 colors on the red one. At the same time that I ordered those, they very kindly, come on camera, they very kindly threw in a freebie, medieval fox detail. I guess they figured since I liked the rabbits, I would like the fox. He's 140 by 196. He's not as square as the rabbits are. And he's copyright 2007 with 40 colors. Then we have, I think these will have to be the last ones I show you, although there are more Orenkos, but I'm running out of my time, and I just heard a timer that I set for an appointment I have. So I'm going to have to leave you shortly. But the last two that I'll show you in today's video are also from Orenko Originals. There's Forest Fox from arts and crafts artists Henry Durrell and William Morris, and Forest Deer from the same gentleman's artwork. They are both 196 by 196. Again, I'm stitching something that size, so it gives me a really good idea of what we're dealing with. I don't know how good the detail would be on these since it is a Orenko. And they reduce the number of colors and things to make them easier. This one only has 35 colors. and the deer have 35 colors also. So if you were to get them somewhere else, like Scarlet Quince for example, you might actually get more of this detail in your stitching. I'm not sure. That's it for my half hour. I'm going to have to save the parade for another day. I know I need to get these uploaded and such. But thank you if you watched. I hope you saw something of interest. And I have plenty more charts to show, plenty more kits to show, and I will try to keep filming these and getting them posted. Right now I've been scheduling them to come out like once a week. I don't know if that'll change, but I really appreciate everyone who takes the time to give a thumbs up or a comment just so I know that my effort to share has not been entirely wasted. Thanks and happy stitching.